Welcome, welcome. It's Monday night, and it's good to be back in Texas, and I am so happy to be with you tonight because we're going to be talking about something that really inspires me, and that is about developing your life's philosophy. What I've learned is that success happens by design. Success does not happen by accident. And so tonight we're going to start to lay the groundwork for the work that we're going to do for, the next month, okay? And we're going to start working on a 5-year plan. We're going to start working on what do you want next year and what do you want to happen in your life, in your business, in your personal life, in your career in the next 5 years. And this is what I know. If you don't know, okay, where you want to be in 5 years, I can practically guarantee you that you're already there. Youch, that's the deal, guys. You see, because 5 years is going to go like that. It's going to go by just like that. And you'll look back and say, wow, nothing has changed. And so after 25 years of studying with some masterful people, I can tell you with complete certainty that success happens by design, not by accident. So let's lay some groundwork. I'm going to take you back in time as to how I started to understand this concept, and we have to go back 27 years. Some of you know this. David Beavers at a luncheon asked me a question that changed the trajectory of my life. Have you ever heard the saying that when the student is ready, the teacher appears? Well, I must have been ready, because David asked me that question. He said, are you ready to make this business your career? And I was kind of blindsided. I did not know how to answer him. So he said to me, he said, Terri, why don't you go home and journal if you're ready to make this your career? Guys, 27 years ago, this was my idea of journaling. They're called sticky notes. I had never done any creative writing or any thought-provoking writing. So I knew that the sticky notes wouldn't work. So I grabbed the next best thing that I had, and it was a spiral notebook. And I started writing, do I want to make Juice Plus my career? What would that be like? What would it take? What would happen to my life? What would change? And you know something? He was spot on. He was spot on, because when you start writing and asking yourself some deep, meaningful questions, how many times have you heard me say the quality of life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask yourself? Something starts to take shape. Something starts to take form. And what happened was that all of a sudden, these emotions started to come up with me. It was like my longings, and yes, my discontent started to take shape. And I started to write and write and write. And a new level of awareness started to happen. I need to tell you, you all know that awareness is the first law of learning. And awareness is not always a fun thing, because awareness can bring some pain because it pulls memories out. It brings memories that you've stuffed back up to the front burner. But that's what happened. I came to realize that I had to look at my longings, my discontent, and something started to shift. I started to develop an excitement that, yeah, I absolutely do want to make this my career. And I have to tell you guys, I was scared and excited, but there was something captivating about this product. There was something compelling about this marketing plan, a plan that I could follow step by step by step. Even 27 years ago, I didn't need to know how to do the whole thing. I just needed to get good at the step that I was on that day. So here we have it. So I made the decision, okay? I made the decision that yes, this was something that I wanted to do. And what happened was that I started living out of my values, okay? You've all heard the trainings on values. So what I'm asking you tonight is it time for you to maybe take a look at a 5-year plan? Is it time for you to do that? Because here's the deal. Very few people are going to take the time to do the work that I'm asking of you tonight. But those of you that do, will create success. So let me ask you, what do you want? Listen, there's enough people out there right now today. Okay, there's enough telling you what it's like. I would like to be someone that shares with you like what it could be, what life could be like. And that's what we're going to do. So you guys have heard my formula before, and I stand by this. It's about intention, action, and belief. So under the intention piece, it's time to make some decisions. And I don't know who posted today something about decision, and it was spot on. If you don't make decisions for your life, set goals, make the plans, someone else will. Someone else will. So the thing that happens when you make the decision, that's when the clarity and the purpose come together, and you stop accepting table scraps by default. Okay, so here we go. Be, do, and have. I did this with someone who had been mentoring with Bob Proctor for years, and it was my first seminar with this gentleman. I paid $10,000 to work with this gentleman. And the very first thing he had us to do was to start writing, what is it that I want it to be? What do I want to be? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to have? What do I want to have? And just like when I had started journaling David Beaver's questions, things started to take shape and they started to take form. All right, so your assignment this week is to start writing, what is it that you want to be? What is it that you want to do? And what is it that you want to have for your life? Now, what we're going to take off the table, we're going to take off the illusion that you don't have enough time. We're going to take money off the table because those are just beliefs and paradigms that we live in. Chances are they've been with us since we've been wee little. And I'm not going to let you say I don't have the skills. All right? Because skills can be learned. All right? You learned how to ride a bike. You learned how to drive a car. You learned how to fold laundry, right? You learned how to cook. Some of us. All right. Some of us better than others. But what you need, the skills that you need for this business or anything that you want in your life, we can learn skills. So don't let that stop you. So what is it that you want to be, do, and have in terms of relationships? What kind of relationships do you want? What do they look like? What is it that you want to do, be, and have in terms of your career, your Juice Plus career, or your medical career? What is it that you want to be, do, and have in that category? What about finances? What kind of money do you want to be making in 5 years? What kind of money do you want to be making next year? So when you're doing this, I want you to think next year and then 5 years out. Next year and 5 years out. What kind of contributions do you want to make starting next year and 5 years from now? What about travel and vacation next year, 5 years from now? What kind of home do you want to live in? This is what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be doing this because starting next week, we're going to start to bring this to the burner. We're going to start working we're going to start mapping this out, you know, like dream boards. We're going to start working on dream boards, and you're going to bring pictures that reflect what it is that you want to be, do, and have a year out and 5 years out. Now, what needs to happen, my darlings, is that we have to fire up our imaginations. We have to fire up our imaginations. You know, Napoleon Hill in the book Think and Grow Rich said that desire is the starting point of all achievement. You guys know I have studied Think and Grow Rich for 27 years. But without imagination, it's imagination that fires up the desire. And I have to tell you, most people, imagination is like a muscle. We don't use it. We do not use it. That's why I can tell you that very few people have that 5-year plan, because they've not fired up the imagination. You know, so we're going to start working on some dream boards. And what I want you to start doing as you're finding pictures in the different categories of life is think like this. Dr. Joe Dispenza is a neuroscientist, and he says that, when you're starting to think about what you want to be, do, and have, you think about it, you see it, and you feel it. And when you can do that, he says, you're starting to create, obviously, new neural pathways, but you leave the old self behind. So whatever pictures that you pick to put on your dream board in your different areas, okay, I want you to think of it as if you already have it, as if it's already in your possession. So just for the sake of this illustration, let's just think national marketing director. I don't know if that's what you all want, but let's just say national marketing director. So I want you to pick pictures that reflect national marketing director, all right? Now this is what I want you to do in the think, see it, feel it category. Is that, let's assume that one of the pictures or what you pick is someone on stage giving their national marketing director speech. Well, I want you to see that as a movie, okay? And it's not that, I want you to see yourself and feel yourself on the stage giving your national marketing director speech. Now, you're not sitting in the audience watching yourself give that speech. You are there in person. You're the star. You're giving your speech and you're looking out at the audience. That's the difference. Oh my goodness. That's why Joe Dispenza says you're creating a whole new view. So starting next week, okay, starting next week, we're going to be working on your dream board. I'm tired of 2020. Show of hands, how many of us are tired of 2020? Let's start creating a new reality for ourselves, all right? All right, 3 things are going to happen when you make new decisions for yourself. Oh my goodness, this should be a 3-hour workshop. Okay, 3 things are going to happen when you start to set new goals, have a new vision, make new decisions for yourself. Bank on it. 3 things. Number 1, coincidences will start to happen in your life. I call coincidences God acting anonymously. Ooh, write that down. God acting. Bank on it. It'll happen. Number 2, things will change. Listen, guys, as you're starting to develop these new skills and these new habits, your life will change. Friendships could change, relationships could change. You will change, okay? This is what happens when you start to build your personal philosophy. And count on it. I'll put money on it every time. Expect it. Resistance will set in. If you have a goal, a dream, or a vision that is worthy of you, expect resistance, okay? All right, so why is that? Well, when it comes to resistance, the human nervous system, and Joan, I bet you can attest to this, and Elisa, the human nervous system is wired to run from pain before going to pleasure. Ooh. So as you're changing, okay, your paradigms and your subconscious is going abort, 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 resist, resist, resist. And so your resistance is going to show up. I see it every single day. Somebody makes Partner Plus, and then they put their plan together for QSC. They've made a decision. They're going to move forward. They can feel it. They can think it. They can see it. And the brakes go on because the resistance sets in. Things like, I have no time. I'll do it later. All right. This is what resistance looks like. It sounds like, what if? Oh my God, what if I make that phone call and that person gets angry at me? Okay. You get forgetful, disorganized, fogged up, paralyzed. Okay. All of a sudden, I can't because you become impatient. And the number one thing, you keep running into naysayers. Okay, other people will start to show up and tell you that this is not possible. And this form of resistance is especially sneaky because, guys, whether you know it or not, you project your own fear onto others. So expect it, it shows up. And this is my thoughts. Here's my advice. Coincidences, celebrate them, enjoy them, be grateful, be thankful, God showing up anonymously in your life. That's number one. Number two, don't let change throw you, and make sure that resistance doesn't stop you, because here's the deal. Without the resistance, there is no growth. And for you to achieve your new goal, your vision for your life, you have got to grow. You have got to grow. And without the resistance, there's no growth. Don't ask me why that is, but you're creating new neural pathways. You know, think of a piece of coal, okay, that turns into a diamond. High temperature, high pressure, okay, and time to change this lump of coal into a diamond. Think of a little seed, Judy Strickler planting these beautiful gardens, little seed. You drop it into the soil. You put a little water on it, sunshine, and all of a sudden this little seed, you want to talk about resistance. This little seed has to move through the soil and go around rocks and move rocks before it will express itself as a new creation. Well, if a seed has to go through that, and a piece of rock has to go through that to step into its creation, into its gifts and its talents, it's the same for us. It is the same for us. And the number one thing that will help us move through resistance, action. Saw Dr. Joan, action. Action helps to overcome resistance, okay? All right, so we've got to stretch. We've got to grow. So what's your stretch? What is your stretch? Here are just some ideas. What's your stretch? Where do you start? Do what you think you can't do. And I'm so proud of you guys. I'm seeing you guys do things on social media and Facebook. I mean, that 6 months ago or a year ago, I'm looking at Nancy McCarter and Pamelia, you know, and Sonia and Paula, and you're all showing up, and you're all doing things that you never thought you could do. So do that thing. You know, the resistance piece is nagness in your head, going, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. Do the thing that you feel you can't do it. Do it first. Do that first. Number two, speak up and ask for what you want. Okay, and then let go. Let go of those things that are holding you back. All right, like friendships that don't work anymore, relationships that don't work, the news. Oh my gosh. I don't care who you're watching or what you're watching. I don't care left, right, in the middle, in between. If you've heard it once, shut it off, because after one time it ceases to be news anymore, okay? All right, maybe Netflix. Maybe we're watching too much Netflix, because then we're paralyzed and we're hiding. All right, you might want to let go of complaining, comparing. Here's Terri Luongo's personal let go list. What do people think? I used to have a need to be right. I no longer have a need to be right. I used to think I was a perfectionist. And Gary V, who's going to be our speaker at the conference next week, says, you're not a perfectionist, you're just scared. Oh, clarity. I'm such a perfectionist. No, you're not. You're just scared. You're hiding behind that word. Okay, scarcity, the need for certainty. I'll do it if I know for sure. There are no for sures in this world. This is what I had to give up. Exhaustion as a status symbol. And for many of you here, and I hope that a lot of people listen, I'm not just talking to this small group that's here tonight, anxiety is a lifestyle. What if we let go of that? What if we made the decision to let go of that? What would happen is that our self-esteem would skyrocket. Our self-esteem would skyrocket. And then you need to surround yourself. You absolutely need to surround yourself with people that support you, love you, support and challenge. You know, you told me this was your dream, your goal, and your desire, and you're stuck in resistance. Will you let me call you out on it? Woo, support and challenge. And then the last piece, of course, is the belief piece in the product, in the company, in the industry, and not just in yourself, but a belief in your dreams. A belief in your dreams, okay? And belief backed by faith, guys, I'm going to tell you, then you're unstoppable. You know, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of which is not seen. If you can design your life, be, do, and have it, all these different categories, with that level of faith, you're unstoppable. And bold action comes from faith. All right. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Kurt Beavers, when it talks about the action piece, in one of the chats today, talked about call, send, call. It's how we used to do our business, call, send, call. And he talked about calling 20 people and inviting them to an event or to take a look at Juice Plus. And the way and this was 100, these are 100 clubbers. And what they said across the board was that when we used to do that, through our averages, for every 20 people that we called, we've always had at least one new customer and one person interested in looking at product and business. Call, send, call. So this Thursday night, Wendy Campbell will be live. She's going to be live. And you know, she takes this girl. Blow your hair back. But I'm going to tell you, in this season of the importance of immune health and understanding the research and what we have, I'm going to tell you, what if you called 20 people and said, this will be an experience. It will not be recorded. This will be an experience. And I thought of you because, and I thought of you because if I send you the call information, will you join? Now, part of my plan for tomorrow, I can think of 5 nurses. I probably know more than 5, but I'm going to start with the nurses that I know, that I want to be front and center for Wendy Campbell. Remember, it's intention, action, and belief. I think that's a great place for us to start this week. All right, and then we wrap it up with gratitude. Do you know that just like action, gratitude has been shown to be very effective in moving through resistance? Did you know that? So think of, where do we find the call information? I'm going to, I'll put it out on the Voxer chats, put it on Team Up tomorrow, and I'll get it out to all of you, all right? So gratitude. I want you to think of, you know, that little seed that we dropped in the ground? That's your intention, your dream, your goal, your new decisions. Well, gratitude to your intention is like the most beautiful organic fertilizer. That's exactly what it is. It helps that seed go and grow and move more easily, so that you can step into the fruition, the gifts and the talents, the full expression, guys. We're all seeking greater expression. We all are. And these are some of the ways that I can support you. And this is lifelong work for me. This is not something I did once. This is something I continue to. I'm already, what do I want in 5 years? You know, I'm going to tell you right now, I want to be a national marketing director standing on a stage in Mexico. Why not, right? and I'm creating that vision in my head. And then I'm going to have Jerry Moran speak for me because I still don't understand Spanish. All right, I'm just joking. All right. Okay, so guys, unmute yourselves. All right. So starting next week, what we're going to do is we're going to be working on our dream boards. And I thought that for our first category next week, I want you to come with pictures of yourself in terms of fitness and vitality and health. What is it that you want? What do you want to look like and feel like? Okay, next year and 5 years down the road. And next week, we're also going to have an interview. Judy Strickler is our cub reporter. We're going to be interviewing someone who's really stepped into that piece of vitality and expression. So for the next couple weeks, there will always be a category that we're going to bring our pictures to, starting to create our dream board. Next year, 5 years down the road, there'll always be one person that'll be interviewed. And then at the end of the month, we will celebrate. We'll celebrate by showing our dream boards and our 5-year plan.
Perfect.
All right, I'm excited.